All right, looks like I'm live. Excuse the fashionable delay. I was getting some more tech things set up and given a little social media boost. I'm ready to go now. I got my coffee. We're all set. Says Eat or We Both Starve from Later Alligator, which is a delightful crepe restaurant in Wheeling, West Virginia. Highly recommend it. Go check it out. I believe they are doing delivery right now. They also have an Instagram page. Eat or We Both Starve. All right. Hi, Jessica. I was hoping you would make it today. Oh, you know what? I forgot to post. Well, I did give a shout out on this on Discord, but I'll go ahead and post the link on Discord. I have a really bad headache today, so I probably will not be here long. Take care of yourself. It's totally okay. Also, hello. Hi, Bobby the Writer. I'm glad to see you here. Today, I'm just going to keep it super simple. Just going to be drawing a coloring book page. Without further ado, I'll go ahead and bring it up. I already got it penciled and everything. I'll go ahead and break down how I did the pencils, because this is actually like a fairly new system for me anyway. So what I did was I made a folder, because you can do this in Clip Studio Paint, and I did not realize this until recently, but you can group your layers together into a folder. So like to get a new folder, you hit this little folder icon, new layer folder, and then you can like drop layers into it, and boom. That's like, discovered that fairly recently, and I'm like, oh my God, this is such a game changer. Now I don't have to dig through 7,000 layers all at once. This is super helpful with this piece in particular, because there were a lot of layers with the pencils for this piece. Behold, all of those layers on the right-hand side. There's a layer for the costume outline. There's one for the base figure, and then there's one for the background there. I even did a different background because I wasn't sure which background I wanted to go with. But for this one, I'm going to go with this kind of a look, because with a coloring book page, I think it would make more sense to have like, you know, natural settings like this one with a lot of leaves and a lot of smaller details, so that you can really get in there with your coloring pencils. The nice thing too with the folder groupings is that you can put them all in one folder grouping, and then you can change the opacity of the layer. You can change the opacity of the folder, and it applies to all of the layers within that folder. Blew my mind when I discovered this. This is amazing. I've been working with this software for a little over 5 years, and I'm still finding new things about it. So, all right. I already did the pencils for this particular page, so we're just going to be inking this beauty. For this, in case you're curious, I'm working on a canvas that's sized at about 8.5 by 11 inches, and then the pixel equivalent of that. I did that because 8.5 by 11 is like, the intent with this was to make a coloring book page so that people can download it, print it, and then do whatever they wanted to with the coloring book page. They could color it, they can collage it, whatever it is that they want to do with it. It's downloadable once it's done. But 8.5 by 11 is the most common printer size, so that's why I went with that. So I'm going to start inking this lady here. To start with that, I'm going to actually get the paintbrush towards a darker black instead of like a brownish black. And then I'm going to change the brush size. I'm going to work with a bigger brush to draw her, and then a smaller brush to draw the background. So I think for the figure, I think I'll do a 30 brush. Let's see how big that gets. I'm going to do some test lines. Okay, that works. What about 35? It's a bit too big. Back to 30. Worked for me. Okay. So now that I have my brush size, I'm going to just zoom in on this face here and get started. So how's everybody doing? Hope everybody's doing okay, considering everything going on right now. Oh, nope. There we go. That's better. Didn't like that one. There. Much better. So I've been thinking a lot lately because that's just my default is I think a lot. But I've been thinking a lot about YouTube. And I've been thinking about YouTube because I've been thinking about getting back into making videos much more often. Problem with that is I don't have super duper fancy equipment. I have everything that I need for live streaming, and I'm totally okay with that. Don't know if the YouTube algorithm really likes live streams. But I've been thinking a lot about YouTube because I know that doing YouTube stuff gets me, if I do it right, it gets me the same sort of outreach as doing comic conventions. I mentioned in a live stream a while back with my buddies Ben and CB that I'm looking into doing less conventions, at least in the next year. Because this year I had already planned on doing less convention appearances. And then with everything going on this year, it just kind of worked in my favor that way. But once things do calm down a bit, I've been thinking about just doing fewer conventions and only really going to the ones that I'm like super excited about. And if there's any new conventions, like I really have to think about it, but just doing less conventions overall. Because my car's not going to last forever. I'm not going to last forever. I'm kind of tired of going to conventions and losing out on a lot of money. So, like, yeah, conventions get you outreach and it gets you in front of more eyeballs than just sitting at home. But if there's a way that YouTube can get that kind of outreach for me, and realistically, YouTube is probably, or at least live streaming or making videos in general, is probably the best way to get that kind of outreach without having to go to comic conventions. That's my line of thought anyway. I don't know. It's been on the forefront of my mind for a couple of days now. I'm going to try that again. There we go. Zoom in on the eyes. Oop. There we go. That's better. Hold on. I'm going to use the mirror tool to see how it looks. Okay. That's, yeah. Looks a bit better to me. I want to try to not have tangents. Tangents are where lines end up touching each other when you don't want them to. Draw the freckles. Is this going to be a lady with freckles? Because I think freckles are cute. Oop, okay. I'm going to turn the pencil layer off for a second, see how that looks. Yeah. Marvelous. In case you are wondering, this is actually a character from a personal project that I've been working on whenever I get a chance to do it. I don't post much about it on social media or Patreon, though, because it's a personal project and I want to try to keep it personal for as long as I possibly can. Because, you know, every creator has to have some kind of personal project that's not posted on Patreon. I am happy to share this as a coloring book page, though, just because I like the concept. I'm going to try that line again. That's a bit better. And my roommate is up. Morning. We were up late last night playing D&D with some friends of ours whom we hadn't seen for a while. We played responsibly. We were originally going to play a couple of weeks ago, but some stuff had happened, and some of our friends had to self-quarantine for a bit. Once the quarantining period was finished, though, we rearranged the date and we got together and we played D&D. Okay. I'm having a little bit too much fun drawing the hair, but that's just a thing that happens when drawing this character. I deliberately drew her with this kind of wispy, stringy hair. Okay. I'll go ahead and pause here for a second on the chat. Good afternoon. How are you lovely ladies doing today? We woke up late because we were up really late last night playing D&D. I'll let her know that you said hi. Right now, she's still hanging out in the back of the apartment. How did D&D go? It was originally going to be a one-shot. It became a two-shot because we were just bullshitting for a good first half of the session. But otherwise, it went wonderfully. Hello.
Hello.
I'm live streaming right now, and Chloe says hi.
Hi, Chloe.
Alex says hi. She would also like to know how D&D went.
I think it went pretty good.
She thinks it went pretty good. It was Alex's first time being a DM. Yeah, I'll go ahead and shrink this down. My roommate Alex, everybody.
Hello.
The DM of last night's session. Oh, I see your hearts. Thank you, Chloe. Yeah. Cookies for breakfast? True adulting.
Mm-hmm.
That is so cool.
It's basically lunch.
Yeah. It's brunch.
Yeah.
It's brunch. It's fine. Jessica waves. That works. Alrighty. Back to the illustration. Yes. Oh, there we go. Okay. Actually, a cookie does not sound like a bad idea. I will be right back, y'all. Okay. Actually, this reminds me. Funny story. So, my sister Kia and I actually got into an argument one time because I had said you can't have pizza for breakfast, and she just looks me in the face and goes, "You communist, un-American monster." And anytime I think of pizza, I think of that. Like, oh, speaking of pizza, today's t-shirt is brought to you by Pusheen with a pizza umbrella on the beach. It's the best kind of umbrella. My thoughts on pizza as breakfast have been amended only somewhat, if only because when I worked at this gas station that I worked at for a while, they had breakfast pizzas. And I begrudgingly accepted that this was a thing. I was not a fan of it, but I accepted it. Now I'm neutral. It's just like, this is a thing that people do sometimes. Oh, is Bree being cute again?
Mm-hmm.
Bree was being very cute during last night's D&D session. She would periodically just pop in and she would sniff at other people's bags. She walked across the map at one point. Because of course she did. She's cat.
If she would have knocked over a Crown's Guard, I would have accepted it as him being dead.
Alex just said if Bree had knocked over a Crown's Guard mini, she would have accepted him as dead. Oh boy, getting into the curvatures here. There we go. That's not too bad. Oh, in case you are wondering, Bree is doing well. Scarlett had a little bit of a health scare there for a hot minute, but she's doing much better now. I like to update my viewers on how the cats are doing because,
of course.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're cats for one, and for another, there are some viewers who helped contribute towards paying their vet bills a while back, so I like to keep them tabbed on how they're doing. Yeah, which thank you for helping with those vet bills when you did. Yeah, I think today is just going to be a studio day, honestly. I was thinking about doing DoorDash later, but there's a lot of studio stuff that I got to catch up on. We'll see how that goes. There we go. I will say this, there will be patterns on the bands of the sleeves here, and there may even be patterns on the dress proper. So we may be at this for a bit. We'll see how it goes. hold on. I need to see something with the pencils. Costume outline. Okay, that's what I thought. Wanted to be certain. Another benefit of working in layers, you can see what lines are part of the costume and what lines are not. Because I could not remember. Oh, wait, hold on. I might have to redraw the arms. Yeah, hold on. Just going to get the lasso tool, which keyboard shortcut, I just hit M because it's a marquee. Hit lasso, and then just circle around the spot that you drew. Hit delete, and there we go. Done. Back to the pen tool. Sorry, having war flashbacks. Drawing these folds on the cloth is like, it's making me think of the most recent page of The Legend of Jamie Roberts that I just worked on. I'm actually ahead of schedule on production of Jamie Roberts. So I'm working on like page 80-ish, and page 78 just went live. But in the most recent page of Jamie Roberts in the production line, there's a lot of blankets and cloths and things being shaken out the windows to get the dirt loose off of them. And oh my gosh. Well, on top of drawing a crowd scene, it's like, oh, yay, folded fabric. I get to draw this all day.
Because we don't learn from our mistakes.
Because we don't learn from our mistakes. It's funny because like I just did like 2 comic pages this past week with crowd scenes. One of them being Jamie Roberts, the other one being a comic for a client, which I'm glad that the page for the client is done because like, oh my God. It was a Woodstock-esque outdoor concert that they asked me to draw, and I was like, hey, how about we make this a big crowd with lots of faces? And then the production was like, face. Because why make this easy on myself, you know? Give me patterns any day. I will happily draw those all day, every day. But like, God, not crowd scenes. But I got it done. Yeah. I'm actually really pleased with how the crowd scene came out in both the page for the client and for Jamie Roberts. Both of those came out really well, actually. Going to turn the pencil layer off so that I can paint bucket tool, refer other layers. Boom. Done. I do that because if you select refer only to the editing layer, it makes a faint outline. So you do refer other layers, hit the paint bucket tool, and boom, no outlines. It's all good. Get the pencil layer back up. The things you learn when you play around with Clip Studio Paint after a while. We're going to take a sec to check in on chat. Yay, healthy kitties! Yes, I'm happy that they're doing well. Also, really happy that Bree really likes the new water fountain that I got her. Because Yeah, Alex can attest to this. There was a water dispenser that we had for Bree that was basically just an upside down jug on top of a bowl. Bree took to headbutting this thing to watch the bubbles form. So I was like, okay, we need to not do this. And I got her like a proper like fountain thing. And now she's drinking the most water I have ever seen her drink. Of course, she does so by like shoving her face into where the water spouts out and she just slurps. But it counts.
Yeah. It looks like a little Aztec temple, so maybe she thinks it's a temple to her.
If you didn't hear what she said, Alex said, it looks like an Aztec temple. Maybe she thinks it's a temple to her. How is Never Ending going? Much smoother. We implemented some behind the scenes stuff to smooth out the production lines. So now things are being made much better, much faster, and much smoother. There's a bit of a hiccup, not on the art side, but on a different side of the Never Ending platform. But we're working together as a team to figure out how to solve that hiccup. But so far, so good. You're still underrated, excuse me, how? I wish I knew the answer, Solar Flare. Do you charge extra for that kind of detail work? For patterns and stuff, yes, I would. Because it just takes longer to do pattern stuff. Make sure you wash the fountain out regularly. I had one that kept getting clogged with slime. Yeah, I have it in my Google Calendar to change out the filter and to change out the carbon filter, because this particular fountain setup has two filters. One for cleaning out the impurities and one for cleaning out the hair. Yeah. Which, given that Bree sheds a deceptive amount, comes in handy. But as far as like charging extra for detailed work, it depends on how much detail that there is, because yeah, detail does cost extra, but how much extra depends on the piece and what you're looking for. I did revise my commission rates. I actually redesigned my website fairly recently, so my commission rates are not live on there. That said, I did set up commission slots on Ko-fi. I'll go ahead and get my Ko-fi link across the bottom here, if I may. Here, I'll make it really quick. Oh, apparently it's pronounced Ko-fi. I'm pronouncing it coffee because that was how I came across it the first time. Bad. And boom.
Their logo is a
coffee cup. Their logo is a coffee cup, and yet their website says that they are pronounced Ko-fi. And I'm like, no, you're coffee. But no, coffee, with how it's set up, it's I appreciate that they're trying out so many different things. Like they have like a little online store, and I'm using that to sell digital stuff like the ebooks that I have. But they also have a commission system set up so that you can commission your favorite artists to do whatever the commission offers. I have some commission slots like listed. I don't have myself listed as available yet, although that might change today. I'm going to take a look. You know what? I'll go ahead and do a quick screen share, or share screen. We're going to share this really quick. Oh, what's she drinking?
I was going to try to get a picture.
Oh. So behind the scenes, look at my coffee page. I did set up a new goal on coffee, trying to raise some funding for some new bike stuff because I'm making an effort to go carless now that I've moved to an area that's a little bit more bike friendly. I would like to ride my bicycle around a lot more often. I do have a bike. Now I just need things like a bicycle helmet and air pump and things like that. So I set a little goal here for that. Oh, I'll go ahead and show you the shop. Here we go, little shop feature. Got some PDFs up, but not all of them. Some of them need to be reformatted, but we got a couple. We got a couple up here. It's really nice. Commission slots. That was why I came here. To show how commissions worked. I don't think that they're live, though. Yeah, no, commission slots are not live. So I'll go ahead and change that. Commissions. Commissions open. And I'm going to have 3 slots available because 3 is reasonable. But right now, the only option that I have listed for commission choices is a bust in black and white because that's super easy to do. I can knock out 3 of those in a week. All right, we're going to stop sharing the screen. And we'll stop sharing that particular screen, and we're going to get back to Clip Studio Paint. Back to inking in this coloring book page. There we go. So now, you all right? Don't die.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
I leaned down to give Boo her food, and it was like phlegm.
Oh, no.
My throat is weird.
Well, you did talk a lot last night being a DM.
Yeah.
You talk way more when you're DMing than you think you do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, okay, full disclosure to the viewers at home. I got Alex hooked onto Critical Role. And a lot of the one-shots feature some of the other players taking over Matt's seat and being DM. And almost every single one of them is like, oh my God, my throat's so scratchy. There's a lot of talking. And it's like, you talk so much as a DM. And it's like, yeah. Oh, Bree. I just heard a little protest meow and I was like, what's going on?
You want pettings like that?
She wants pettins on her terms.
Yeah.
That's just how she is. Ooh. Oh! Holy banana pants. I just got the notification. Thank you, Jessica. I wasn't expecting that. Oh, my D&D group plays tonight. What level are you at? I'm curious. The one shot that we did last night, everybody's like level 5. And I'm like, ooh, I like level 5 because that's when the fun stuff starts kicking in for your classes. Well, thank you, Jessica. I just saw. Oh my goodness. That's a nice little birthday present. Yeah, it's my birthday on Monday, by the way. I have no idea what I'm going to do for my birthday yet, but I'll figure out something. You know, I forgot. I was going to bring this up with Lynette and/or Angelica last night, and I forgot to. I was going to ask if they'd be interested in me commissioning them to make that skirt.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure they will.
There's a skirt I really want made out of a particular pattern that I have, and I want it to have pockets because God forbid that anyone own a skirt that has no pockets. But it's kind of hard to find skirts with pockets. So I was going to commission a friend of mine who makes costumes. I think that was her day job until recently. Yeah. Like she's a costume maker by trade, but I was going to commission her to make a skirt with pockets for me out of this fabric that I have. I would make it myself, but A, I don't know how to sew that well, and B, I don't have a sewing machine. So I'm going to reach out to her and see if she'd be interested in working on that. Commissioned explain. If you mean explain the commission process, you just go to coffee.com/Kelsey D. Crawford, link at the bottom of the screen here. And then, you know what? I'm going to stop screen sharing for a hot second just to make sure that I understand the process here. Application window, this, share, boom. Coffee.com. My page. Go down towards this. Yeah, commissions open. You just hit commission me. And then with the commissions, if you provide like image references, email those to me. There may be an ability to like post a comment when you commission me on Ko-fi, but definitely send an email with your reference images if you have them. Otherwise, give a detailed description of the character whom you would like me to draw. And then I'll just get started right away. Ko-fi handles all of the payments and everything, because that's the nice thing about Ko-fi is that that's what it's there for. One sec. I think I got two. There we go. That's much better. And stop screen sharing for a hot second. Skirts with pockets, blasphemy! I actually have a few dresses with pockets. I'm always amazed to discover them. Where are you finding these? I must know. There was one dress that I found, though. It was at American Eagle, of all places. It was a dress with pockets, but it was at American Eagle. And yeah, those dresses are not super duper cheap. Oh, we've been playing for over 2 years. My character Burles is a level 15 Eladrin rogue. Wow, that's a super high level for a rogue. You must be doing like 67 points of damage every round. Holy banana pants. Holy carp, happy birthday. Thank you. I still have no idea what I'm going to do for my birthday. Happy early birthday. I'm currently working on your presents, but custom orders at work suddenly skyrocketed and wiped everyone out. It should be finished by next weekend, though, if that's okay. Absolutely no rush at all. Like, thank you for even thinking about getting a birthday present for me. I was legit not expecting any birthday presents this year. Honestly, I'm shocked more women don't just commission clothes they want how they want. I'm told the major distributors don't listen to what their markets want. I wish that there was more commissioning of outfits going on. The thing though is it's just one of those things where probably not a lot of people know people who can sew the kind of clothes that they want. Because like it took me ages to be like, well, who do I know that's local to me that can make costumes? Because like, yeah, I have a couple of friends who can make that sort of a thing, but it's way easier to like ask them to make the stuff for me now that I live in the same area that they do. Because when I lived on the opposite side of Ohio, that would not have been easy because they need to take measurements and everything like that. The other issue with commissioning other people to make outfits for you is, and I feel like this is something that my older sister could attest to more because she has done costume commissions for people. But there's the issues of measurements. There's making sure that you got the right fabric. I feel like there's more. I don't know because I've not commissioned somebody to make a costume for me before. So, or make anything for me before. So I don't know what the process entirely entails.
If the pattern doesn't have pockets.
If the pattern doesn't have pockets, then the person who's sewing the thing has to figure out how to put the pockets in there, which figured that out. I only figured out how to add pockets to skirts when I looked it up later. And even then I bungled the pattern the first time. Only that much damage with sneak attack, but I never miss. Yeah, that's... You gotta do sneak attack to do the extra super high damage as a rogue, but when you do hit, ooh, it's so juicy. So juicy. Okay, we're gonna get back to sharing Clip Studio Paint.
Bree, you be good.
Alex's cat Boo Boo has been adventuring into the living room much more often. Bree Bree does not know what to make of Boo Boo yet. Anytime that Bree Bree sees Boo Boo in her line of sight, she gives these little like chirps. Because that's just how she do. Yeah, my original plans for what to do to celebrate my birthday were to go camping someplace, particularly perhaps Hocking Hills, because I love Hocking Hills area. I love Hocking Hills so much that I drew a Mr. Dino and Friends illustration taking place in Ash Cave, which is at Hocking Hills. But with everything going on, I'm not sure that I want to like A, travel that far, B, go someplace when everybody has the same thought of, oh, I'll go camping because nobody's going camping. And it turns out that everybody and their brother is thinking about camping. It's like drop shipping as a career. You think you're the unique odd duck out thinking about it. And then it turns out there's a billion dude bros who are also doing it. I do miss camping, though. One of these days, I'm going to head back out to the Hocking Hills area to just go camp, see Old Man's Cave, see Ash Cave, see the Rock House again. Rock House is so cool. Gonna have a bite of cookie. You know, it just occurred to me that I've been drawing these leaves in the same brush size as the figure, and that was not my original intent. Delete. Good thing I caught that before I drew too many more. Okay, we're going to go back to the figure, and I'm just going to draw the patterns. Jamie Vanderen, if you are watching right now, I'm sure that I just gave you a heart attack right now. Anytime that Jamie and I talk about the art process and I'm just like, oh, I'm just going to delete this. He's like, why would you do that? You put so much work into that. And I'm just like,
It doesn't look good.
It doesn't look good. I'm not married to it. Besides, if I wanted to keep a paper trail of really bad sketches, that's what sketchbooks are for. I have not drawn in my sketchbook for a while. Saying that, I'll go ahead and make this announcement now. There's a little artist challenge that I'm going to put on myself for the month of September. I'm going to call it Sketchtember. Yeah. Just going to make an effort to do a new sketch every day in my sketchbook during the month of September. Just to keep practicing. Oh, catching up on the chat here. Yay for Boo Boo! I know. I'm so proud of her for being able to come out into the living room and just chill and hang out. Any progress is good progress. You know, it's funny because last night, you remember when, because last night Bree Bree and Boo Boo came across each other kind of on accident and more in like they didn't realize that they were right around the corner from each other. And they were already pretty overstimulated with the number of guests that we had in the apartment. So like they came across each other and Bree was like, like on her face and just smacked her and gave her like a little like warning hiss.
Yeah.
And I was like, Bree. And Lynette and Angelica were like, you know what though? That's pretty tame. And I'm like, is it though?
I guess. I don't know.
I guess it is, but that, you know, because I know Bree Bree's body language, I know that she didn't mean it in a super hostile way. She was just like, oh God, you got in my space and I'm already stressed out. Nope. So like progress, I guess. But still, like, you know, they've gotten within like a couple of feet of each other before without getting into batting sessions. But still, I've never been camping and I've never been to Hocking Hill. So both of those ideas sound amazing. Oh, man. Like, camping is, when you do it right, it's a lot of fun. But it's really, really easy to mess up. Because it's really easy to fall into the idea of, yes, I can be a wild person and live off the land. And it's like, no, you can't. Just stopping by to say hi. Hi, CB. Good to see you again. We should do another live stream together. It's birthday weekend. Yes, because CB's birthday is tomorrow. Happy birthday, CB. Hello. Happy birthday. And early happy birthday to all. Thank you. Happy birthday, everyone. Also, happy unbirthday to everyone. A very merry unbirthday. I'm going to stop it right there. Stop before we get copyrighted by Disney. I'm not going to bring down the wrath of the eldritch horror that is the Walt Disney Company. Thank you.
Can't hear the word eldritch now without
Eldritch Blast. If you couldn't hear Alex, she's like, I can't hear Eldritch anymore without thinking of Eldritch Blast. If you have no idea what that's from, that's a character from The Mighty Nine in Critical Role trying to impersonate another character in The Mighty Nine and failing at it because he's really bad at accents. I like to swallow swords. It's like, I never said that. Oh, hi. I am loving pastries, and my God is so cool, you guys.
I need Caleb to do accents all the time.
I know. I need Caleb to do accents all the time as well, because it's great. It's solid gold. Also, Marisha Ray, the actress, needs to do accents more because she is terrible at them. Oh, yeah, I have a cat. Oh, yeah. It's like, you've never done a German accent. Oh, my God, this is great. I say this with love.
Her Canadian elf one is pretty great.
Oh, yeah, and the night before Christmas one shot, she played a Canadian elf. And it's like, oh, yeah. Which is not that much different from her German accent. Yes, you two are so much fun together in live streams. Oh, yeah, me and CB. Yes. Oh, Me, CB, and Ben need to do another live stream together because when the three of us are together, it's dynamite. Oh, speaking of Critical Role, I just found out Sam Riegel and Liam O'Brien were voice actors in the Persona video game series, and they're incredible. I mean, they're great voice actors. I did not know that they were in the Persona video game series. But then again, whenever they're doing Critical Role stuff, they don't tend to talk too much about the gigs that they've done unless there's like an upcoming release that's coming out and they're like, oh yeah, I can finally talk about it because I'm not subject to an NDA anymore. NDA being non-disclosure agreement. I'm actually under a couple of those myself. So if you're like, hey, who do you work for? It's like, I can't say for sure because non-disclosure agreements, contracts. Oh, no, Boo Boo does not want petins.
No.
She just wants to go over to the cat tree.
Sharpen her non-existent claws.
Sharpen her non-existent claws. Yeah. Oh, let's add some shadows on this part here. All right, the figure is done. Now to do the patterns, we're going to rotate the canvas a little bit. You could rotate the canvas by playing with this slider over here, or I think you can hit the R button. And yeah, you can hit the R button and do the same thing. But I like playing with the slider because the rotations are much smoother. I'm going to rotate this direction though, so that I can draw the patterns. So considering this character, the patterns that I want to draw are going to be more sun-based. We're going to shrink the brush down from 30 to 15, half the size. And I'm going to start with those. And now I'm racking my brain for patterns from various cultures that are homages to the sun or directly or indirectly reference the sun. There's patterns in West Africa, particularly Burkina Faso, that reference literal stairways to heaven, but it's not what I'm looking for. Or maybe it is what I'm looking for. It just depends. Oh, fun fact about West African patterns. Their symbology for a bird flying out of a cage generally means something different than what we people here in the United States think of when we think of a bird flying out of a cage. Because when an American thinks of a bird flying out of a cage, we think of, oh, yes, freedom, because we're used to the Industrial Revolution, gilded cages, et cetera, et cetera. When a West African person sees a bird flying out of a cage, they think, oh, that person knows a secret, and the secret is about to fly out. So, fun fact for you there. You're welcome. Found that out when I studied African art history for the first semester. I actually studied it for 2 semesters. The first semester was just West African art. The second semester was a concentrated thing. Like you found an area where you wanted to study and you just focused on that thing. Which is how I know way too much about Dogon society. I was talking about that last night. I stopped going to a pagan festival because it became clear I just was not going to get a spot on the property's bunkhouse. I realized that even within the airbed, I do not need to be sleeping on the ground in my mid-30s Right? Oh my gosh. It's exhausting after a point to do comic cons and things like that. Like, even if you do Airbnbs and you manage to like book a spot that you think is a bed. Like, there was one time that I booked an Airbnb and it was literally just a mattress on the floor. And I'm like, well, at least it wasn't super expensive to book this weekend. Still though, that was, oh my god, that was such a nightmare weekend. I'm not going to say which convention that this was for because I don't want to give them too much bad press, because like in general they're pretty good, but that particular weekend that I went to this particular Comic-Con was not a great weekend. For one thing, that was the weekend where I had booked an Airbnb and it turns out that it was just a mattress on the floor. um, Also that weekend, the that particular convention charged extra for chairs at your booth spot. And I did not realize this until the day that I arrived to set up my stuff, and there were no chairs in my spot. So I was standing on a 3-day weekend. Thankfully, I did have booth neighbors who were nice enough to like lend me their chairs every once in a while. And there was one neighbor who was like, so I have like this cushion padding so that you can stand on it and not hurt your feet too much. But oh my God, not doing that again. That was rough. Yeah, stuff like that. And just knowing that I can't just stand on my feet for 8 hours at a time makes me go, you know what? Maybe I should just not do comic conventions very much. Just find a way to like phase that out and do other ways to find new crowd outreach. You being good, boo boo? Yeah, she is a good baby. Yeah. She's being very cute.
And Bree Bree stole my seat.
Oh, of course she did. Bree Bree is a seat thief. Bree Bree is a seat thief. There's been multiple times where I'll get up to like get coffee or tea, and I'll come back and Bree Bree took my office chair, and I'm just like, well, looks like I'm not doing any work today. Not until you get out of that chair. Okay. So far, so good on the patterns. Oh, try that again. Yes, this is the same sort of pattern that I use a lot in The Legend of Jamie Roberts, this like triangular pattern. And I use this to reference sunbeams. Fun fact. I was thinking about adding a pattern within a pattern, but I'm like, no, this is not the right shape to do what it is that I intend to do. So I'll do that on the next row. Try that again. There we go. Let me see if I can do the pattern that I thought of. I have to do a variant of it. Not sure that I like it. Just going to make a new layer. I'm going to call it base so that I can draw these really quick. It looks like I'm drawing the same thing, but I'm not. Stick with me. Make sure that this is all parallel. Mm-hmm. Boop. There we go. Nope. There we go. You know, I just had this thought. I feel like 90% of my live streams are me just going, nope. There we go. Okay, we're going to move this layer.
Isn't that just
under
art
inks
as a whole?
It's art as a whole. Just like periodically going, nope. We're going to change the opacity of that base layer to 50%, situated under inks. Go back to the ink layer and zoom in a little bit more. And ugh. Nope. I'm doing it again. You can never draw a perfect circle.
Use your mirror thing.
I could use my mirror thing, but I'm not going to. Because challenge accepted, mother bitches. Cookies.
So good.
Mm-hmm. I baked chocolate chip cookies last night. I wasn't sure how they were going to turn out because I added too much brown sugar to them, but they turned out pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out the correction that you make, if you're like, oh no, I added too much brown sugar, add just a little bit more flour. Ow. I do have an idea. Paste. And we're going to rotate that just a wee bit. Yeah. Oh, the thing about working in Clip Studio Paint is when you copy paste something, it pastes into a new layer. So it's now Ink's copy. So we're just going to Control E and merge it back down. Okay. The next two outlines are a bit bigger compared to these ones, so we're just going to freehand it again. There. That's so much better. Rotate the canvas. But yeah, no, like I'm legit considering just not doing comic conventions, or if I do comic conventions, I only go to the ones that historically have been very good for me in the past, because yeah, believe it or not, I'm in my 30s now, and I'm not young enough to keep like crashing on people's couches. Like Amanda Palmer can do that, but I am not Amanda Palmer.
If we're even allowed to have conventions ever again.
Alex just said if we're allowed to have conventions ever again. The thing is, we discussed this in the panel a few weeks back, which is available on my YouTube channel. Click on the YouTube thing to give that a watch. It's on my profile. But we talked about that in the live stream that I did with Ben and CB about what the future of comic conventions is going to look like. I still think that they are going to shift to more of a virtual model, and they will figure out ways to make that work.
Yeah.
But if they do bring back in-person conventions, they're going to have a lot of changes in policy to make that happen.
Yeah.
I think more conventions than not will open back up after everything slows down a bit. But when they do, there's going to be caps on ticket sales. There's going to be wider floor layouts. There's going to be hopefully more people showering, although that might be too much to ask for a comic convention. There's always one or two people that just choose not to shower.
At least if there's masks, we won't smell it as bad.
At least if there's masks, we won't smell it as bad. That's a good point. Yeah, and mask mandates would be nice for comic conventions. They shouldn't be too hard to enforce because A, there's cosplays that incorporate masks,
Right.
and B, like, it's not that much harder to add masks to,
Right.
you know, attending a Comic-Con. And also, there's just, for some subculture fashions, that's just a norm. Thinking particularly of cybergoths.
Yeah.
Cybergoths and industrial kids, like, they wear masks by default. That's just part of their look.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do keep tabs on some Lolita hashtags on Instagram, and there are a lot more like gothic Lolitas who are adding face masks as part of their dress repertoire. And I'm like, oh my God, you found a mask that matches your dress. That's adorable.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like teddy bears and like cats with eye patches, and I'm just like, where are you finding these patterns? I must know. Okay, we're gonna turn the base layer off, see how that looks. Heck yeah. I kind of like it with that base layer there though, but one thing you can do. I cheat. I cheat a lot. I just realized. This shouldn't be allowed, and yet it is. Okay, so we're just gonna get the opacity of that back up to 100%, and then we're gonna merge the layers. There we go. Actually, hold on. Let me unmerge the layers so that I can get back to this and erase some of these stray lines here without getting into the other lines. Things that make sense in my head. There we go. That fixed it. Merge. Rename the bit layer back to inks. And boom. Okay, I'm going to take a second to catch up on live stream chat. Okay. Oh, yes, I see that Tim has some comments. Local accommodations over the traditional hotels because of how nosy the locals are. An old friend spent 7 months in West Africa, and he said there was no privacy. Yeah. Back to nature. Last week was my vacation. I did a lot of hiking at the Columbus Zoo and local parks. Then we went back to the AC and premium beds of the Red Roof Plus. Honestly, hiking around the Columbus Zoo and parks sounds really fun. I know that there's the Olentangy Cave system in Columbus. I've never seen it, but I want to see it. Cookies. Work gave out some really good chocolate chip cookie ones the other day. Funny story. I'm subscribed to an email newsletter called The Morning Brew, and they just did an evening edition where they shared a lot of the recipes that subscribers sent in to the editorial staff. They put all those recipes together and shared the link on their email newsletter. And one of the recipes, two of the recipes were chocolate chip cookie related. One, yeah, because there's so many variants on chocolate chip cookies. But there was one variant that had Nutella incorporated into the recipe,
Perfect.
which already sounds amazing. And The other was DoubleTree's no longer secret chocolate chip cookie recipe. That was a very interesting panel. Thank you. I'm glad that you enjoyed it. More floor space would be wonderful. It's hard to get around conventions in a wheelchair when the place is packed. Fact. Yeah. I mean, that's something that we talked about in the panel a while back was, look, a lot of these conventions needed to become more accommodating for wheelchair users in the past with all of the like health and safety regulations in this new era of Rona.
Yeah.
Like, if we incorporated those, it not only makes it safer for people in the age of Rona, but it also makes it more wheelchair accessible.
Exactly.
Because it spaces things out more.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that con stream you did a few weeks back. Well, thank you. Glad you thought about it. I think a major problem, especially for Ben, is he needs to make money at an event where he isn't the prized pony. I remember talking about the cosplayers. Many of those people are going for the spotlight. I don't think they mean to hurt vendors. They just aren't thinking about them. I get that. Yeah. That's the other thing about comic conventions is that like a lot of them are way more focused on the special guests rather than like local artists or anything like that. I mean, it's a talking point for some of the smaller shows to be like, hey, local vendors. But there's a lot more comic conventions that try to bring in like actors, and like it's good, I guess, but honestly, I know way more people who would be way more interested in attending Comic Cons if they knew that there were local artists and vendors showcasing there, because there are a lot more people, at least in the circles that I keep tabs on, that are more interested in supporting local artists than they are in seeing television stars. The night hike at the zoo was a lot of fun. I forgot that night hikes were a thing.
I didn't know they were a thing.
They are a thing. Night hikes are a thing. You like go hiking with a flashlight or something.
Oh, gosh.
But you know,
I'm an indoor cat.
Alex just said that she's an indoor cat. But you know, hiking at the zoo, there's probably like lighted trails and things, I would imagine. If it's anything like Christmas at the zoo when they have Christmas lights all strung up.
Yeah, that would be fine.
Yeah. There was Crumble that opened up by our hotel last week, and they gave away a free chocolate chip cookie. That sounds amazing. Okay, trying to think of what other pattern. Oh, while I'm thinking about what other pattern to add, I will go ahead and mirror the patterns over here. Yeah. When it comes to making comics, I try to hand draw the patterns more often than not, because I've seen comics where they just take a pattern and then they paste it in. And you can kind of tell that they pasted it in because it does not conform to the volume of the figure whom the pattern sits on top of. Boo Boo never comes down off the cat tree in stages. She'll go to the very top and then she will just off. This cat. Paste. Scoot it over here. Nope, that's not going to work. She is a good baby. Oh, you know what though? Oh, what? Hi! Oh my goodness! Hold on, I'm going to shrink down the screen so that you can see the boo boo.
This is the boo boo.
This is the boo boo. She does not like to be held.
Not at all.
But she does love the chin scritchins.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, honey. Oh my goodness. Oh, you're shedding again.
Always.
Always. Yes.
You go, Bubby.
Tell me all about it, madam. Oh, chin ribbons.
All right.
Here's a cat brush.
Thank you.
Yep.
Come here.
Actually, now that I think about it, I assume Crumble is a cookie shop. It is not a cookie shop I have heard of before, but I am assuming that's what it is. We're going to change this layer to 50%. Going to go back to this layer. Circles. I name my layers so I can keep track of where is what. I'm working with a bunch of people right now who do not name layers, and I'm just like, I say this with love. Name your layers. It's not great, but that'll do. There. Copy paste. Moving this over here, and we're gonna rotate this. If you want to rotate singular objects, you just use the marquee tool to draw around the object that you want to transform, and it will pop up with this little menu right here. Scale rotate, well, scale/rotate it. So you just hit that. But if you want to like free transform it, then you got to go over here to mode and change it to free transform. And that will enable you to do things like this. I'm going to undo those though, because I just needed to rotate the thing. But that is how you free transform something in Clip Studio Paint. They used to have a simpler method to be able to do it. I don't know why they changed the command to do that, but that's just what they did. Okay. Merge the circle layers back together. And moving this up here. Delete. And circle around, copy paste, move it over here. I'm going to rotate this just a wee bit, like so. Okay, deselect, and then we're going to erase because this section is under some hair. There. Oh, in case you're wondering, this little button over here is reset rotation. It returns the canvas back to its original rotation. Merge down, and we're going to put the ink layer back to 100% opacity, and we're going to merge the layers back down, and boom, done. Okay. There we go. That takes care of those. I have no idea what two patterns I'm going to do for these two bands on the sleeves here. Well, I'll take a second to look at the chat. Oh, fuck. Add to stream. There we go. Yeah. Sorry, Jessica. Didn't realize that I wasn't sharing the screen until you said something. I'm glad you said something. Thank you. But in case you were wondering, yeah, whenever I was doing the these circles over here, I was basically doing what I was doing earlier, drawing on top of this layer. It's just that this pattern here was at a different opacity than this one. But yeah, just what I did earlier, just duplicated. The organizer who decided to bring a live interview to the house mic because people weren't attending the room with panels. He was trying to help the creator, but he ended up making it hard for anyone else to carry on a conversation. I know which convention you're talking about. Yeah, that was a problem. BRB, gotta go water the bee garden. Got lots of baby flowers. Yay! I saw on Instagram you were posting pictures of your little bee garden. I'm glad that it's growing in very nicely. You have a bee garden? Heck yeah. Like, follow Chloe on Instagram. She posts pictures on there on occasion. Chloe, when you get back, give a shout out to your Instagram page. I'll probably ask you to do that again when you get back from watering the garden. But yeah. No, Tim, I know what convention you're talking about with people not attending the panel. So he was trying to do live interviews on the floor. I know which convention you're talking about. And yeah, that was difficult. I'm glad that I caught up on your stream. Sorry that I couldn't get in until now. It's all good. I'm glad to see you here now. Actually, really quick, I may just get some more water because I'm almost out of coffee.
Chloe is Chloe Rose Art.
Oh, hold on. If you would like to follow Chloe, Chloe on Instagram is Chloe Rose Art.
She has a personal one too, but I guess I'm not following that on my art one, so give me a second.
Yep. Oh, speaking of new Instagram profiles, I also have a new Instagram. It's for a new little project I'm calling the Brie Boutique. Let me post Instagram at Brie Boutique.
Maybe she only has Chloe Rose Art.
Boop. Instagram at Brie Boutique. That's my new Instagram project. If you like really chubby cat art, highly recommend it. It includes little chubby cat doodles like these little donuts here. Because yes, cat donuts. Also includes these. Organization 13 is cats. Here, I'm gonna stop sharing the screen for a sec so you can see these a little better. Organization 13 is cats. These are featured on Brie Boutique, as are little cat donuts. Because cat donuts, how can you not like cat donuts? That's my question. Yeah, there's other little cat doodles that feature on Brie Boutique as well, like this little caticorn. Yeah, caticorn. So if you want to see more art like that, follow Brie Boutique. I try to post new cat doodles every day except Sundays. Sundays are my day off. I love cat donuts. Good. We are like-minded people. Yes. We had a German yellow jacket hive in our front flower bed. Lovely. That sounds terrifying. I don't even know what a German yellow jacket looks like. But it sounds terrifying, and it sounds like they're a bunch of dicks.
Yeah, for real. So I guess Chloe only has Chloe Rose Art now. I thought she had two, but I can only find one.
So Chloe Rose Art, if you wanted to follow Chloe for her art and for her bee garden. Oh, how are the baby wild turkeys? Did you release those yet? For a while, Chloe had some like wild turkey babies that her and the family were, I think, rehabilitating. Yeah, rehabilitating for reasons. So wanted to check how the babies are doing.
I think they released them.
I think they released them too. Yeah. I can't remember. Cat donut is cute overload. Isn't it though? I love cat donuts. I will leave the link for my Instagram on the bottom of the screen for a hot minute. Okay. Back to this. I'm really tempted to just draw donuts into the patterns now. But it's not the theme I'm going for. You know what, though? I might just do a coloring book page of cat donuts. Yes. How about that? A coloring page full of cat donuts. I'm cool with this if y'all are cool with this. I'm going to make a note of that before I forget. a coloring book page of cat donuts. I am loving this project. I keep coming up with new ideas for it like every day. Just had a date last night with someone who loves K-pop. She just sent me a bunch of videos. I feel like I'm Alice staring down the rabbit hole. So there's this YouTuber, Sarah Zed, who that video about
Eating the box.
Oh no. Explaining the Onceler fandom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Sarah Zed explained the Onceler fandom. And at one point in that video, she was talking about the names that fandoms give themselves. And she proceeded to list off. So Doctor Who fans call themselves Whovians. And then she came up with another example. And then she's like, and K-pop fans are called terrifying. So I feel it. I'm glad that she loves K-pop though, because like K-pop is fun, but oh my goodness, kind of terrifying. Well, it's terrifying to see how absolutely buck wild the fan base is for K-pop. But you know what? I'm glad that they love it as much as they do. Okay, patterns. Some kind of sun-related pattern. You know what? I have my sketchbook out and available right now, and I was drawing patterns the other day. Let me see.
Everyone sheds in this house.
Everyone sheds in this house. I have been shedding a lot more now that I am growing out my mohawk locks out like this. Like, this is the longest that my hair has been in an awfully long time. I kind of want to grow it out to see if I can make it like a full-on mermaid type of a look. But, oh my God, am I shedding a lot? Ooh, okay. I'm glad that I looked in my sketchbook for some inspiration, because now I have some inspiration. There we go. Hold on. Would be easier with the line down the middle. Whoop. Yeah. Wait. Yeah. And try that again. There we go. Gonna add some lines here, some lines here, and some lines here. That works. This is a fun pattern. Okay. Middle line. Well, that curved. That really zigged when I thought it would zag. We watched the Night Before Christmas one shot from Critical Role.
Killing Santa.
Well, don't spoil it. But yeah, there's a moment where one of the characters like attempts to kill Santa. Freaking Chutney. Chutney's one of the best characters. You and your fingers. Back in my day, toys were one solid piece of wood. Kids in their VR headsets, and it is reality. It's real. Travis Willingham makes the most buck wild characters. I love K-pop. EXO and Super Junior are awesome, but just like fandoms, there are those that take it to too obsessed levels. I get that. Yeah. Also, throwing this out there, 2NE1, very fun K-pop group. I love their stuff. I haven't listened to any new stuff if they've released any new stuff, but 2NE1, really like their work. All-girl K-pop group, and that's the number 2, the letters NE, and the number 1. A lot of their songs pertain to like, yeah, I'm a bad bitch. What you gonna do about it? That's basically like 90% of their songs. Also, one of their songs that I listened to that I was obsessed with for a while incorporated traditional Korean drums. And I'm like, oh, heck yes. And I know that they were traditional Korean drums because we actually played with a set of those, oddly enough, in Taiko. Because the instructor was Korean. So she had a Korean drum rhythm that she wanted to teach us. And we were like, okay, we'll play this on Japanese drums because, you know, cross-cultural thing. Why not? There's a lot of taiko groups across the United States that make hip-hop rhythms with taiko, so it's fair enough. America. But
melting pot.
Well, it's supposed to be. Supposed to be. But anyway, but yeah, we actually incorporated a traditional Korean drum into one of the taiko arrangements, which was really cool. It also made the rhythm stand out better because like you could hear where the rim shots hit on the Korean drum and they sound way different than taiko rim hits. Yeah, because taiko is basically just a giant wine barrel with cow skin draped over both sides of it. So like striking the edge is like kind of a sound.
Yeah.
But if you strike the side of a Korean drum, there's a technical name for them and I don't remember what it is. But if you strike it, it gives a different sound to it.
Nice.
Yeah. They also use different sticks. One is like a proper drumstick and the other one looks like a brush. Kooky. I know. So there you go. Drop some fun facts on you. You're welcome. I Am the Best is a good song from them. Yes. Highly recommend 2NE1's I Am the Best. I'm watching that video with you talking about killing Santa. It's wild. Yes. The Night Before Christmas is honestly one of my favorite one-shots from that group. That and Crash Pandas. Crash Pandas
is really good.
Crash Pandas is a lot of fun. That actually uses a different game system. It's not D&D. It's a one-page RPG that was created by, I don't remember his name off the top of my head, but they give him a shout out on the actual one-shot proper. But this guy, Grant Howitt, that's his name. Grant Howitt makes these one-page RPG systems, and one of them is Crash Pandas, where you play as raccoons drag racing.
It's so good.
It's so very, very good. And it's so over the top. I love it. I have a metal finger-style drum with a plastic skin. It's something else like I've never heard. That sounds like a lot of fun, honestly. How long do they keep the wood stored to get the right sound? Depends on the drum and tree, I think. I wish I knew the answer to that. I never learned that when I was doing taiko. I only ever did taiko for one semester and they didn't go into the particulars of how the drums got made. They were just like, so this drum is called this drum is called this drum is called this. Don't hit this too hard. We already broke one of the skins. And it's like, okay. Oh no, the lines didn't intersect the way I wanted to. There we go. That's better. So my mind went weird because drawing this pattern, I'm like, this almost looks like an ichthys fish. And then it made me think of this back when I worked at the gas station. There was this little old lady who came in, and of course she needed to get air in her tires, and she didn't know how. And she was like, could somebody help me get air in my tires? And I was like, yeah, I'll do it. And she had a little ichthys fish on her van, because of course she did. And she actually gave me a nice tip for helping with that. So, you know, if there are little old ladies who are like, can somebody help me put air in my tires? They will tip you. So hot tip. It happens way more than you think. Yeah, I don't remember where I learned it from. I just remember an adult showed me once how to do it. I think. I don't remember if this was one of those things where somebody showed me or I just had to intuit the thing. I don't remember. There's a number of things that I learned just from learning on my own rather than having somebody show it to me. I remember some of the drums were questionable. Yeah. Yeah, because Cecil and I were in Taiko. I don't think at the same time, but we were in the same Taiko group, just at different times, probably different semesters. I think, I don't remember. Were we in Taiko in the same semester? I do not remember. Time is irrelevant. Okay, I'm going to change the banner on the bottom there back to coffee. I'm going to keep calling it coffee. I recognize that the coffee brand says that it is pronounced differently. I'm going to keep calling it coffee because their icon is a coffee cup with a heart on it. Mm-hmm. That's my ruling. Chloe Rose, back from the garden. So is your Instagram handle at Chloe Rose Art? We're asking for science. Have you heard of Rolls to Astonish? They promote the 5e RPGs. In relation to the con topic, the guy who runs RTA, Rolls to Astonish, is determined to push indie RPG systems over 5e. I did not know about Rolls to Astonish. I know that there are other RPG systems that use 5e as a base. I was actually looking to possibly make one of my own based on the Charlie and Clow universe. And running it off of a 5e-esque system, just with a couple of rules tweaks. No, we were in the same class. It is where I met you all. I was just there for a year. Okay. Oh, my bad, not 5e. I think you mean the D20 system? Because that's where my mind went when you said 5e was the D20 system, which I have an informational pamphlet on that. He has a thing against 5e. Well, that's unfortunate. Okay. Speaking as somebody who DMs or learned how to DM Dungeons and Dragons in 5e, I'm not sure what criticisms there are against 5e. I find it way more intuitive than previous editions of Dungeons and Dragons and even Pathfinder on occasion. I recognize that there are a lot of people who love the character customization of Pathfinder, but oh my god, Pathfinder character sheets are like 2 pages long before you even get into the spells because of how much math is involved and how much character customization that you can put into a character in Pathfinder, which, you know, cool.
If you have a flexible enough DM too, you can do pretty much everything in 5e.
The thing about, Alex was just saying, if you have a flexible enough DM, there's a lot of things that you can do in 5e, which is fair. Because there are just some things in 5e that I'm like, okay, we're going to do that, but we're not going to do this. Yeah. Or You can incorporate other things into 5e. The thing about 5e is that it is so customizable. Like, Bree is a shrimp. Oh, a little seat thief. Bree is in the shape of a shrimp. Boop. Like this. Yes. It's the Instagram Pillow Fort and Twitter handle. So yeah, I wanted to signal boost you, Chloe, because we were talking about your bee garden and how on occasion you post pictures of your bee garden. So if people wanted to see that, there you go. There's her handle. Instagram, Twitter, and Pillow Fort. Not familiar with Pillow Fort. I'm going to have to try out Pillow Fort. I don't have the time to type everything, but he seems to resent the omnipotence. I'm going to guess you meant omnipotence of D&D. Also, he disagrees with Alex. Well, that's unfortunate. That's science. I love the exclamation of because science. Okay, I gotta pick a pattern. I gotta pick a pattern to put on this final band of this outfit. Let me look at the other patterns that I've done. So we got dots. We got ladders to heaven. We got beams. We got diamonds. We got circle buttons. We got the X's. We got almost, but not quite, ichthys fish. Something sun related. Pillow Fort is great. It's still very quiet, but I like it. It's probably quiet because there's not a lot of people on there. I say this with love. A lot of social media platforms, when they first start up, are generally quiet. I'm just starting the DM of 5e Legend of Zelda themed game. That sounds awesome. Oh my gosh. Also, good luck. DMing is its own challenge, but oh my gosh, it's so rewarding whenever you DM. So good luck. You got this. I believe in you. Looking at patterns. That's a thought. Just flipping through my sketchbook for ideas. No, Bree's just minding her own business. Mm-hmm. Boop. Okay. Oh, I cannot handle how cute. Yeah, Lynette and Angelica just absolutely fell in love with how cute Bree is. They were just like, she's perfect, and I'm like, she's Bree. That's what she do.
All cats are best cats.
Mm-hmm. I'm proud of Bree for being as sociable as she was last night.
Yeah.
She's usually not a very sociable cat, but she was like out and about. She was sniffing people's bags. She tried to chew on people's bags if they were made of plastic because she is a plastic fiend. But now she was walking around. She was sniffing. She let people pet her. She even let me like scoop her up and hold her for a little bit. For a little bit, I mean for all of 5 seconds. It's already kind of difficult to scoop Bree up and hold her because she does not like to be held. Or if she does like to be held, it is within the privacy of our home when no one is watching. Because that's just how she is. Okay. I'm going to rotate the canvas a little bit more to make this a little easier. We got about 13 minutes left on this live stream. I'll announce this here. Once this coloring book page has been inked in completely, it's going to be available for email newsletter subscribers to download and color for free. If you would like to get on the email newsletter list, I have a link on my link tree right here. You just click that and then you go down to, I believe the link is called like subscribe to email newsletter. Click that. I only send out emails once a week. Sorry for my upstairs neighbors. They're kind of loud sometimes. But yeah, you go to linktree/KelseyD, sign up for my email newsletter. I send out emails every Friday. This month, I've been sending coloring book pages for subscribers to download and color. Once this page gets done, it'll be available for email newsletter subscribers to download and color. I'm going to catch up on comments real quick. Pillow Fort aims to be a sort of hybrid of your favorite blogging websites, keeping the strengths. Yeah. I'm hoping it works. It is very cool. I'm a huge fan of Zelda, so it's really fun to build the world. That sounds like a lot of fun. She didn't claw you. That's love. Fact. My cat doesn't like to be held, but she trusts and loves me and feels safe around me. Yeah, that's Bree Bree. She trusts me. She loves me. It's sweet that she trusts me and loves me as much as she does, because she doesn't love and trust just anybody. But she is a very sweet older cat. Everybody was shocked when they found out that she was 12 years old. But yeah, just going to repeat again. Once this coloring book page is finished with the inks, I'm going to save a copy of it, and then it'll be available for email newsletter subscribers to download so that they can color it, collage it, do whatever they want to with this coloring book page. And if you want to get the ability to download it, go to Linktree, click sign up for email newsletter. Boom, done. I only send out emails once a week on Fridays. It's all good. Okay, now that we got that, I'm actually going to start a new layer for background inks. So that if I go over lines like that, I can just do that without cutting into the figure. Makes it so much easier. Grass, 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 grass. Grass, 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 grass. I'm not going to say that every time that I draw grass. Boom. Let me try that again. There we go. Nope. There. That works. Nope. If you're hearing weird, like rubber stretchy material, that's my hand going across the tablet. Nope. I'm really tempted to get the symmetry tool. Nope. Nope. There. That's good. Nope. That'll work. Ah! Just bunking my elbow against things. Water fountain. Oh no, I'm making a tangent. Hold on. Tangents are where lines kind of connect and make it look like one thing if you don't want them to. So I'm going to move the layer. There. That's better. Oh, I hear the boo-boo chirping in the other room. Mm-hmm. There we go. I'm going off of memory for drawing this water fountain here. Nope. Nope. Rotate the canvas. It's easier to draw straightish lines when the canvas itself is not straight, I find. There. That's better. Okay, so that takes care of that. Mountains. Grass, 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 grass. Is that the level I needed at? No. Okay. Oh, because the background inks are on a different layer. Okay. Grass, 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 grass. There. Lasso tool and delete. That takes care of that. I'm going to have a cookie. I'll throw this out there too. Patreon right now is dedicated, not exclusively, but largely to The Legend of Jamie Roberts. The coffee page, I'm going to dedicate to another comic project. The other comic project is something that I've been working off and on during production for the last, I don't know, 3 years-ish. It's a retelling of The Little Mermaid called Julia. In that one, the main character is bound in a wheelchair. Because I remember coming across a prompt like that once, and I'm like, you know what? The Little Mermaid would be wheelchair bound. Because that would be just like the sorceress who gave her legs to do that. Because the sorceress who took away her voice so that she could have legs and become human would pull that kind of a dick move. Let's be real. And I was like, well, what would the character do if that was the case? And the story of Julia came out of it. Now, I say that it's a retelling of The Little Mermaid, but the plot is going to be different. It's not so much about The Little Mermaid trying to woo a prince over, because that was never really the point of the original story that Hans Christian Andersen wrote. The original conceit of the story was the Little Mermaid really wanted to be human. The prince was just the means to an end. So I wanted to revisit the core message of the mermaid wants to be human. What does that look like? And that's what Julia is about. catching up on chat. Sorry, I got to head out early for lunch. Thank you for the awesome stream. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Well, thank you. Enjoy the rest of your weekend as well. I'm going to have lunch after this stream ends as well. Kelsey, do you repurpose your coloring pages for other things? Funny enough, the most recent coloring book page made available to email newsletter subscribers yesterday made it into Gods and Spirits, a sketchbook. Besides that, there's another coloring book page that I had posted a couple weeks ago that I originally drew it to put on mugs and t-shirts. And I have a color version of that. I just did not do that yet. I must go forth and find the cookies. Yes, find the cookies. That sounds like an awesome comic. Thank you. I'm looking forward to sharing it. You heading out?
Yeah, my mom bought me some yarn.
Ooh.
So I'm gonna go over there and she's gonna help me do linings for these.
Ooh.
So we'll see how that goes.
Awesome. Alex is going to go get some yarn. Be safe.
I will. Bye.
Bye.
Oh,
wave to the viewers.
People, wherever I am.
In the corner. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Be safe.
See you soon.
See you soon. Well, thank you. But yeah, I'm going to be posting that comic on Coffee. Waves. Yep. Forget something?
Because I forgot my phone.
Oh no, you can't forget your phone. Jessica waves, by the way.
Hello. And goodbye again.
Okay, goodbye again. Be safe. Have fun.
I will.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. But yeah, I'll get the Coffee link back up on the bottom of the screen. If you would like to see more of the behind the scenes stuff for the Little Mermaid retelling, I will be posting that on Coffee. I did sign up for Coffee Gold, which means that now I can accept one-time donations and recurring monthly donations on Coffee. If you have the means to. Absolutely no pressure whatsoever. I know a lot of you are already backing me on Patreon, which thank you for that. Oh my gosh, that helps so much. But stuff pertaining to Julia is going to be posting on Coffee for people who back on Coffee one time or monthly. But yeah, I'm going to be doing The Legend of Jamie Roberts on Patreon and Julia on Coffee. Also, Coffee has commission slots listed and also has an online store for the PDFs and digital stuff. If you want to buy digital stuff off of me, Coffee has that. Patreon is just Patreon. I do also have a store Envy link. You can find that on my link tree, which I posted earlier. It's also in the doobly-doo. And now it is over 3:00. I'll go ahead and zoom out on the canvas here. That way you can see the progress that we made today. Look at that. Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. You know, I should have put patterns on the bands around here. I'll need to do that. That'll be the next thing that I do. Yes. There. Okay. Progress made. I need to log off for now because there's some other comics related work that I got to get done today. Otherwise, I could just keep doing this. I wish I could keep doing this, but there's other stuff that I need to get done today. And I also don't want to hold up and monopolize your time. It's been a fun stream. As always, have a wonderful weekend and a merry birthday. Thank you. Still have no idea what I'm going to do for my birthday, but thank you. I appreciate that. All right. Thank you. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll get my link tree back up on the bottom again. So if you want to find all this stuff, my Coffee, my Patreon, my online store, sign up for the email newsletter. If you sign up for the email newsletter, you will get this page once it's finished and you can download it and color it, do whatever you want to with it. That That's if you sign up for my email newsletter. Totally free. I don't spam you. I only send out stuff once a week. But go to Linktree, sign up for the email newsletter, check out all my links. All of them are listed on that page. Good journey. Thank you very much. All right. Let me get the coffee link back, or Linktree back up again. All right. That's going to be it for me today. Don't know when the next live stream is going to be. I will make an announcement when I am live streaming again. This might just become a bi-weekly thing. We'll see. Let me know what you think. This will post as a replay shortly after it goes live. So feel free to post in the comments once the replay posts, because the replay will have its own comment section. Let me know what you think about doing bi-weekly live streams. That's going to be it for me for now. I'm going to have lunch and get some water. Thank you so much for watching. You are awesome.